Over the last few years, we've been using the Google Nest Cam Battery Edition. We've been using it indoors and outdoors, and it's been a pretty great camera. On average, I get about 4 months of battery life with light to medium usage. And that's the main problem with this. If I don't have it plugged in, the battery dies and I have to get up and either pull it down and get it charged or go get the cable and get it plugged in. And it does take a bit of work, and I don't like having to do that every so often. So in today's video, I've been provided a ton of different accessories by Wasserstein. Whoa, I'm really excited to test out what these can do. So today we're gonna see if these can improve the battery life and the experience with the Google Nest Cam. Let's get started. First, we have the Wasserstein Pogo pin cable adapter. So this is compatible with the Google Nest Cam battery. This is like the cable that it comes with, but this is actually 26 feet long and it is weatherproof. So you can use this outdoors. So here on the back, it comes with the adapter and a charging cable. Here are the cable specifications, and there we have the 26 feet. And over here on the side, it specifies extra long cable, 26 feet, weatherproof, and then no downtime for the camera. So the great news about this is it will be able to give you the 24/7 video history because it has that constant power. So here in the box, we have the cable. I like that it comes with 5 different little clips so that you can attach these and route your cable. That's actually really nice. Here is our power adapter. And then here is the cable. And here it comes with Velcro straps to make it so that you don't have cable going all over the place. So let's go ahead and plug this end in. So if you're wondering how long 26 feet is, I'm 6'2", so I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 arm lengths at about 6 feet long. So now let's plug this in, and now we're going to plug it into the camera. All right, just took a second there, and the camera has now turned back on. There it shows a light indicating it is on. Let's see how long it takes for the app to show it's on. It was completely dead. It's now showing the green, indicating it is recording. Let's go back and refresh this. There we can see it just joined the Wi-Fi network. And now the camera is ready to be used. So there we can see the feed. And if I go into the settings here and we go under battery, it's going to show us it's at 0%, but it is plugged in. So that means it's going to be recording the 24/7 history because I do have a Nest Aware subscription. So if I go here into history, I'm able to scroll back in time and see everything. And here you can see that the cable only goes in one way. So it goes this front way. This is the same way that Google's cable goes. It would be nice if there was one that was a little different or the opposite so that you could have it hang backwards, but I guess this is just kind of how it has to be. Let's go ahead and check out these clips. So here you can just pull off the 3M adhesive, place this where you want it, hold it down for about 30 seconds, and then here we can just simply clip the cable in. We need to pull that up, push it on. Pretty snug fit there. And there it has now locked in. So it's a little tight, but that's definitely going to hold it securely wherever you want it to go. So you can have this one here and one here around different corners and long straightaways so that you don't have cable all over your house. You can hide this nicely with these little clips. So I think it's really cool that those were provided. I think this is a really great cable. 26 feet is very long, so you should be able to place it pretty much anywhere you need to as long as you got a plug within that range. So that is the Pogo pin adapter for the Google Nest Cam battery. Here we have the Wasserstein charging station. So this will work for the Google Nest Cam battery edition. So here you have 2 different ports where you can simply dock your different cameras. So you can easily charge up 2 of them at one time, which is really nice. And over here we have direct and fast charging, LED indicator to show charging status, charges up to 2 Google Nest Cam batteries, and smart charger prevents overcharging. Over here on the side, it says 1 charging station, 1 USB cable, and it comes with 1 power adapter. And over here, we have some more product specifications. So let's go ahead and get it unboxed. So here inside the box comes with a little instruction user manual. Here we have the charging dock. Pretty nice build quality. I like the colors, and it has some little soft rubber parts down on the bottom. And here on the back, it uses a USB-C power cable. And then here we have our power brick and our probably 4-foot power cord. So let's go ahead, plug this in. And then here we plug this in the back. And that is plugged in. And so now we just need to take our Google Nest camera off the dock or wherever we have it mounted. Here I'm using a tripod mount and I can easily unscrew it. And now I just need to place the camera on. And just like that, first try, got it in. And here you can see the light turns on and it will begin flashing when it is charging. When it is done charging, it will stop flashing and there will be no light anymore, so you know that the charge is complete. And because it is powered on, it is currently showing us a live feed. So I can go into the settings here, and then I can go into battery, and here we can see the current level of battery. So if you just want to leave this, come back a little later and see how much it has charged, you can do that all from the comfort of the Google Home app. So once it has been charged up enough, we can then take it off and go mount it back on the wall. So pretty cool that you have the 2 docks here. So if you have multiple cameras, you're able to quickly charge both of them at one time without having to have a bunch of cables and get them all charged up. So I think this is really cool that it has that, and just the simplicity of the light flashing when it's charging and it turns off when it is done. And so that's pretty much all that you need to know about the Google Nest Cam charging station. Here we have the silicone cover for the Google Nest Cam. It comes in white or black, and this is compatible with the Google Nest Cam battery. Now inside the box, we have one silicone skin compatible with the Google Nest Cam battery. And the benefits of this is it has a visor to reduce the light reflection on the Google Nest Cam. It's able to slip on easily for a perfect fit. It has UV and weather resistance, so it's going to last a long time outdoors. And then it's made for Google Nest Cam cameras. Those are not included. And then here we have the gentle slip-on cover, and we can align it with the speaker and mounting hole. So pretty cool. I've seen some other mounts that cause a lot of reflection, especially like night vision. So it's not a very clear picture. So we'll see how this does. So it looks like this is the white edition. So here, even though it's the white edition, it still has that black there for the visor, so it's not going to cause that reflection. So for this, we will need to unplug it. And then it also has a cover for the Nest mount. I'll need to find mine. So then that does slip on pretty easily. Kind of looks like a baseball cap. All right, and then we need to make sure the holes align. I like how it has this little weather-resistant cap for the charging port. All right, let's get this plugged back in. That fits in no problem, and we still have access to the speaker. Kind of cool looking. Let's see if I can find my dock real quick. So here I did find the mount here. So this is able to just slip over that. It keeps it weather protected. And then we can magnetize that right on. So that works just fine. Here you have the Wasserstein logo on each side. So that has a pretty cool look to it. So let's go ahead and jump into the Google Home app and to see how it looks with the visor. All right, so here we have the camera view, and you can see that the camera works like normal. These reflections are just from some metal above me in the room, so that's not a part of the camera. And here, if we move it around, looking at the light there, you can see that it is working just fine. If the camera's outside and the sun is hitting at this exact angle, it's going to definitely hit right in the camera and cause some weird reflections, but that visor really does a good job in protecting it. So let's see. So it'd almost be nice if the visor came out a little more. You can see if I put my hand over it just a little bit more, it also removes some of that glare if that sun's hitting right in that spot. But I definitely think this is able to help the camera not have so much light glare on it. So here I have the visor off, and then I put it on, and it's able to reduce the glare where the light is coming from. And we can simply remove it just by sliding it off. Like so. Let's test out the silicone cover. So there you can see there's some weird light reflecting on it. Let's try and put this on. So without the cover, fully sun, and there with the cover, you can see it is able to give it that extra hat protection. So overall, I think it's pretty great that this is able to protect your Google Nest Cam, as well as add that visor for better viewing experience, especially if you're using this outdoor. So overall, pretty cool little cover for your Google Nest Cam battery. Now, before we get to the solar panels and the POE adapters, let's go ahead and check out some different ways in which we can mount the Google Nest Cam. Here we have the Wasserstein Premium Camera Wall Mount. So this is compatible with most cameras that have a 1/4 inch or 20 UNC screw. So that's the screw that is here on the bottom that you can use on the Google Nest Cam battery, and that is what all of my tripods use. So I can mount them to any tripods, but this allows me to mount it pretty much anywhere. So here, this is not only compatible with the Google Nest camera battery, but it works with the Arlo Pro 4 or the Arlo Essential Spotlight, the Eufy Cam 2, 2 Pro, 2C, or the Ring Stick-Up Cam battery and the Ring Stick-Up Cam wired. And in the box, it comes with a wall mount, a black plate, 3 screws, as well as 3 wall anchors. And then this has universal compatibility, secure viewing, versatile mounting, and it is ultra durable and sturdy. So can't wait to see. I may have lost the other side to my mount, so this might be nice to have as a replacement. So first here, it comes with some instructions on how to get it mounted. Here we have the back plate and the 3 anchors and 3 screws. So all we need to do is screw this in somewhere, place this in, lock it on, and then we can mount our Nest Cam on here. So this also, so it unscrews like that, allows me to position this part. There it has the ball bearing, so once you tighten it up, then it tightens this. So here with our Nest Cam battery, let's go ahead, put that on. So 2 ways to mount it. One is you mount it and then you can screw on the Nest Cam battery, or here you can kind of hold this on and screw it. Might not be the best way, so let's go ahead, put this on here. Screw that on, then we can screw on the Nest Cam battery, and then as we tighten this, it makes that tight so we can then mount it wherever we need to in whatever direction. Let's go ahead and mount this on the wall and try it out. All right, once we get the 3 screws installed, the back plate is now ready to attach the mount. And the hardest part about this is getting it to line up. It did take me a few tries to line up exactly where it needs to go, but then it's really easy to lock into place. And then now we need to use the middle portion, tighten that down, and then that will tighten the little part that is attached to the camera. And then we can lock in the camera and tighten the top down so that then it is fully secure. Now, if you ever want to take the mount off to charge the camera, you would either need to unscrew the camera, which takes a little bit, or the other option is you can just simply take off the mount by rotating this counterclockwise and it comes right off. Again, you'll have to line it back up, lock it back into place. Now, this is actually pretty durable once you have it all tightened down. I don't think you're going to see much movement unless it's very strong winds. But yeah, I think it's going to stay on there pretty nicely. Now, there is one setting we do need to adjust when using the premium wall mount. If you go into the Google Nest Cam and then tap on the settings, you will then want to go into the device information. And at the top here, you have camera mount. So tap on camera mount, and then you want to choose other mounts. So any mount that's not made for Google or Google Nest product. Once you do this, it will then allow for the Google Nest Cam to work properly without being mounted to the original mount that it came with. And so here we have the camera mounted up in the perfect position. I can see the entire room. And it's great that you can mount this pretty much anywhere. And I really like how adjustable it is. You have the top screw, the middle body, and the lower body. And I think this is great that it works with so many different cameras. So overall, I think this is a really great wall mount. I think it's going to be great if you need a replacement wall mount, or if you need something that allows you to mount it in a little bit different angle. This is going to be the perfect solution for you. So check out the Wasserstein Premium Camera Wall Mount in the description below. Now let's take a look at a few other ways in which we can power the Google Nest Cam battery instead of using a power cable into an outlet or powering it by charging it and then placing it back on the mount. The first option is going to be through POE. If you haven't heard of POE, this is power over Ethernet. So all you need is an Ethernet cable close by, and then what you can do is you can get this, which is a POE injector. So you plug this into an outlet, plug the Ethernet cable into here. It then goes to wherever the camera is going to be powered, and you get this, the POE adapter. So you plug the Ethernet into the adapter here, and then it can be plugged into the camera. So you can use an outlet from way far away to get this plugged in, or you could even have a power over Ethernet network switch. So you could have the network cable go from the adapter into the camera, and that Ethernet goes all the way into your network room, into the switch, so you don't need to have the injector. So it's really cool that you could have this powered from your Ethernet cable wherever it is over the house. So let's go ahead and test this out. So let's start with checking out the POE injector for the Google Nest Cam battery. Here we have one POE injector, and here are the specifications if you need that. So here, this is going to continuously power your Google Nest Cam. We'll also see if Nest Aware 24/7 video recording is working as well. And here, this is going to have continuous power, no more downtime, power over Ethernet, and simply plug to power Nest Cam. Pretty cool. So here inside the box, you have a little instruction manual. And then here it shows that we have a load indicator, data indicator, and data and power port, and then the AC adapter. And here, let's open that up. It's a little bit bigger than I thought it was going to be. So here you have a little active indicator, a POE load indicator. Then we have the LAN data input port. So you can have the data going into here. And then here you have the POE data and power port. And then you have the AC input. So you need to plug this in. So connect the LAN cable for the POE injector. Connect the other end of the LAN cable into the POE adapter, and then connect the other end of the Wasserstein POE adapter to the camera. So, and then you're going to plug this into the socket. So that's the first step. So let's go ahead and get a cable. So if we're just using this, we can then plug in the POE. So this is where the power is going to be transferred. So now let's go ahead and check out the POE adapter. This is the Wasserstein POE adapter for the Google Nest Cam battery. So it's made for Google Nest. Inside is a POE adapter with a user manual. Here are the specifications. So it's great that this is going to continuously power your Google Nest Cam battery. So here it's made with ABS and PC. Output materials are 1.5 amps. Output voltage is 5 volts DC, and operating temperature between 14 degrees and 131 degrees Fahrenheit. So in the freezing cold, you may experience some times when it's not charging. And then here on the side, continuous power, no more downtime, power over Ethernet, waterproof design, and easy installation. So let's go ahead and get this unboxed. So there we have our user manual. And here we have our POE adapter. So here I will need to plug in the Ethernet cable, and then this will plug into my Nest Cam battery. Now the other end of the Ethernet cable needs to be plugged into a POE network switch, or you can get the POE injector that you would need to plug it into. So let's go ahead and plug the other end of this cable into the adapter. So imagine having an Ethernet cable from your network room all the way outside. And so that's where you would plug that in outside. So now that we've plugged in our adapter, we're going to plug it into the Google Nest Cam battery. And the adapter has the Ethernet all the way to the POE side where the plug is, or the POE network switch. And now we're going to plug this in. And here the adapter is showing the orange and green indicator. And there we have power to the Nest Cam battery. And then over here, the light is showing active that it is powering. Let's see if it's charging in the app. So here we can see the Nest Cam in the settings. We can tap battery. And here it says it is currently plugged in at 6%. So having that be plugged in, if you pay for the Nest Aware subscription, it then will also have that 24/7 video recording. So it's going to be constantly recording. And then if you ever do lose power for whatever reason, it has the battery backup that it can record events up to 1 hour on battery. And then once the power comes back on, you'll continue to have that continuous video recording again without any downtime, which is really cool. Now in the POE adapter for Google Nest Cam battery, it does recommend to use the original cable that came with it to plug this in to get it set up and do firmware updates. Once you've done that, then you can use the POE cable. Now I can go ahead and get this set up in a more permanent position, having this outdoors and then having this plugged in my network room. So it's really great that you have all of those options. Let's go ahead and test this out with my other POE switch so that we can see how that works without the POE injector. So here I have my POE network switch. All I have to do is plug in the Ethernet cable here. And here you can see the Google Nest Cam turning on, seeing an event here. And that is now plugged into the POE adapter. And now it is charging. And now let's check in the Google Home app. So here we have in the battery settings that it is currently plugged in and charging, which is great to see. If you are looking for a way to power your Google Nest Cam battery, I think this POE adapter and the POE injector is a really great solution. It's so nice that you can easily connect in Ethernet cable, which is much easier to route than power. There's a lot less codes you have to follow for that. And I think it's just great that it can go over a long distance. And I already have network cables around my house, so I'm able to then just choose the spot where I want to place the camera, plug in the Ethernet cable, come down to my network room and get it wired in with a lot less hassle than having to find a plug and route that cable. So overall, I'm very impressed with the Wasserstein POE adapter as well as the POE injector with these two little devices. It's great that you can have constant, continuous power to your Google Nest Cam. Do you have problems with your neighbors trying to steal your Google Nest Cam? Maybe it keeps falling off the mount. Well, today I have the product for you. This is the Wasserstein anti-theft mount for the Google Nest Cam. Now here it is an anti-theft and anti-drop protection for your camera. Easy to install, durable, and has a weatherproof design. Here it's going to protect your Nest Cam. And inside we have one anti-theft mount, 2 screws to lock the anti-theft mount, 1 security chain, 1 hexagon screwdriver, and 1 user manual. So let's check out what's inside the box here. So there we have the mount. There we have all the tools we need. And here we have the user manual. So like a previous mount that I've checked out with Wasserstein, here it has this little visor with black here at the top to help anti-glare from the top of the camera. And then inside you have these little grip pads that are able to lock this in to the Nest Cam so it's not able to easily come off. So to get this on, we just need to slide it into the casing, and we're going to align the bottom, making sure we can still see the speaker and the charging port. Okay, now that we have that on, let's check out the tools here. So next we need to grab the little cable here, and we're going to use the smaller hole right in between there, and we're going to take the screw and place it through this and into here, and then we're going to screw it in. And you can align the front, make it flush as you do that. And you can tighten this up pretty tight. Then once we have that, the next step is we're going to take the mount from our Google Home. Then the next step is you're going to remove the cover of the mount. Then you're going to remove one of the screws. You will then place the chain underneath the mount and then screw through the mount into the chain here, and that will then lock it on. So let's go ahead, get this installed, and try it out. So first I'm going to remove one of the screws on the mount. Then I'm going to slide in the chain and replace the screw. Add back the mount and attach the camera. So there we have the mount attached, and let's say it falls off. That it's going to save your camera from falling to the ground. So then let's say somebody tries to remove it, and they fall and get hurt, and they don't steal your camera. And I really like how that visor looks on that Nest Cam. So I think the anti-theft mount is actually a pretty cool way to add a little protection to your Google Nest Cam. And I also like the drop protection. Sometimes if you're moving it, you happen to pop it off, it's great that this could save it instead of falling on the ground and breaking it. It just kind of dangles for a second and then you can get it put back in place. So I'm pretty impressed by this product. And one other thing you need to do is make sure that you go into the settings of your Google Nest camera and go and change the mount type to other mounts instead of using the Google Nest mount. Other mounts, in case you're mounting it on something else, you would want to make sure you do that so that it will work properly. Next, we have the Wasserstein solar panel and the premium solar panel for the Google Nest Cam battery. So this will allow you to attach to your Google Nest camera and place outside in the direct sunlight and power your camera so that you always have battery charged and you don't need to worry about pulling it down and recharging it. Now here we have two different models. One is just going to be able to power it a little bit faster and it's going to absorb more of those great sun rays. So over here on the side, we can check out the difference. Here we have the solar panel mounting bracket, 3 screws, 3 wall anchors and for the mounting bracket and 1 user manual. So all the same there. And then here you can see the difference in the specifications. So we have the material is made from PC. And then here we have the power, which is 2.5 watts max. And here the premium version has 3.5 watt max. So it's going to give you a little bit more power from the sun. Then we have the voltage is 5 volts DC and the operating temperatures is 14 degrees Fahrenheit to 120 degrees Fahrenheit. The cable length is 13 feet long and the panel is 11 inches by 4.8 by almost an inch. So pretty cool there. There you can see everything else is very similar about the product. So here we can see this has high efficiency solar cells and the premium has US engineered solar cells, 360 degree rotating mount, 24 hours, no more downtime, weatherproof design, and easy installation. So let's go ahead, get these unboxed. So here we start off with the user manual talking about how to mount it. Check your battery charging status on the Nest app. So the solar panel will keep the Nest Cam charged at around 70%. If there is not enough sunlight and the battery drains below 20%, it will be displayed in the Google Home app. The solar panel will stop charging the Nest Cam once it reaches 70% to prolong its battery life. So I don't believe this is going to have the 24/7 video history. Here we have the solar panel. There you can see that long cord and there you can mount it on the mount. And then here it has some clips with adhesive to route the cable where you want. There it comes with 3 anchors and 3 screws and the mount here. Let's go ahead and check out the premium version. So here we have the user manual and inside we have some routing clips for the wire, 3 screws, and the mount. So here you can see the difference in the 2 mounts. One looks slightly different. Premium, you can see those individual ones there, and then here you can see a little more boxy version. So again, 2.5 watts and 3.5 watts. And then here on the end of the cable, just like the other Nest Cam cables, this will plug in very similar. It does have a little bit different mounting style. Here you can see that it's different than the regular power cable. So that's kind of interesting that the pins there are slightly different. So let's get this plugged in just like that. And then let's head outside and see if we can get this charged. So here with the mount, you will need to mount this into the wall, and then you'll be able to tighten this screw here and position it where you want the solar panel to be. And then you will need to simply slide this on like so, and then you can have the mount like that. Yeah, I think you'd want it mounted like that with the cable up on the top. Pretty cool. All right, I have now installed the 2.5 watt solar panel, and the battery life currently is at 50%. We'll give it about an hour, check on it, see how it's doing. Now, when I first plugged it in, the weather outside looked like this. A little bit cloudy and the sun was setting, but here in the app it did show that the battery was being powered over solar, but it did have a low battery because it was under the 20%. It didn't show me that it was plugged in or charging. But then I did charge it up to about 50%, and this is what happened the next day. The sun woke up bright and early and was ready to help me complete this test. Now, when it is plugged in, you won't see a battery symbol. And here I unplug the solar panel and then the battery percent shows up. And so there, after 1 hour, it has gone up to 52%. Let's check in the settings. Here under battery, there you can see, just shows battery, 52%. I'm going to go plug it back in, let it charge, and if I have any updates, I'll let you know. Once I have the solar panel plugged into the Nest Cam, it now shows that it is plugged in because it is above that 20% battery level. And even at night, it will show that it's plugged in even though it's not charging. And if it does drop below that 20%, it will let you know. All right, let's check the battery level. It's been on the 2.5 watt solar panel for about 6 to 7 hours. Unplugging. In the battery, it is now at 64%. So since earlier today, it's gone up 14%, so a little bit slower than the premium version, but still does the job. Now let's test out the premium solar panel, which has 3.5 watts. So when I plug this into the camera in a nice sunny morning, it only had 18% battery life. So we're going to leave it here for a few hours and come back and show you what it's done. So it's been 4 hours since I saw it in the Google Home app that the Nest Cam was charging. So let's go ahead and see how it's doing. So here in the camera, change the name to backyard camera. Here we can see the live feed. And then as we tap the settings and we go to battery, here it still is showing that it has solar power and it is charging. So this is the symbol you see. It doesn't tell you the percent that it's charged to. It would only do that if it loses that solar connection. So this evening it might do that. But if we scroll back here, I do want to check, has it been recording anything during this time? So if I go to the history, great shot there, and I go to the current time. So here we made it to the live view. And if I scroll back at all, there is nothing available. So here you can see it is showing a gray line. Typically that means that it has recorded something because I pay for Nest Aware 24/7 video history, but it does not display that. So I think it needs to be a lighter gray line. This dark might possibly mean that it is charging. So that's good that it's charging, but with the solar panel, you don't get that 24/7 video history, which is a bit of a bummer, but I'll show you another option of charging fairly soon. So there you go, it's charging. Let's go ahead and go out to the solar panel and camera and unplug it and see where our battery life is after 4 hours. It was sitting at 19% earlier. So as soon as I unplugged the solar panel from the Google Nest Cam, my battery life percent popped up right here, showing that it's currently at 50%. So that went up about 32% in 4 hours with the premium solar panel, which is pretty good. So let's go into the settings here and we go under battery. And there again, you can see that it is at 50%, no longer showing that it is charged over solar. So I think this is actually a really cool product, having that solar panel and paired with the 2-in-1 mount. It's great that I can place it anywhere around the home and have it be powered and being able to see the live view at any time. And then if I have any events or any events happen, I'm able to see those and then download those and receive the notifications for everything. So really great product having that solar panel. The main problem with it is you don't get the full history like you would if it was constantly plugged in. And with the solar panels, we can use the 2-in-1 gutter mount for the Nest Cam battery. So here on the side, we have the gutter mount, an adapter for the Nest Cam, and a hex key. This is safe, secure, and you get to stay connected with this. And then over here on the side, it's the 2-in-1 mount for solar panel and Nest Cam. Versatile mounting, no drilling required, and made for the Nest Cam battery 2021. That is not included. So let's get this unboxed. Lots of different things come inside the box here. Ooh, so here we have a new little mount that we can attach our camera to. We have some screws. Here we have the actual mount. Here we have some more screws and a key. And then here we have a little hanger. And we have a Velcro strap to help secure the cable. So let's go ahead and check out the user manual, see how we get this set up. So for this mount, you will need this solar panel, which is not included. You will need the Google Nest Cam, which is not included. And then you will also need the Google Nest Cam adapter, which comes with the Google Nest Cam. So now that we have that, we're ready to get started. All right, so first we need to take this bracket, and then we need to slide this off of the main bracket there, and we're going to attach these together. So here we have 2 screws. It does not come with a Phillips. It says make sure the screws pass through the 2 holes in the metal hook. So it needs to go through the first one, into the middle there, through the second one. Okay, those went through into the second screw hole there. And now we're going to slide this back on. And then here we're going to place the hex screw and screw that in to tighten it. Now that's pretty tight. And now that is not coming off. Next, we're going to install a knob screw through the hole of the metal hook. Plastic nut is optional to prevent the scratch to the gutter surface. So here you have this little plastic nut. If you don't want it to scratch your gutter, you might want to use this. I don't want that to happen. I'm using it. Now there are 2 different sizes. There's really long and short. And we're going to screw on the cap there. Okay, let's do the other one. All right, now we have those in, ready to finish tightening on the gutter. Now we're going to mount our camera. So let's take that off here. And here on this bottom screw, we're going to mount this plate. So we screw that on, and then we screw this the opposite direction to really lock that in. And then here we can attach the mounting plate. Make sure it latches onto all 4 hooks. And now we'd snap the camera on to its original base. It's getting pretty intense. So it says make sure the ball joint and screw are firmly in place. So there you can see it moves. If you want to lock that in so you don't have as much movement, you'll probably do this once it's all the way mounted. Here you will want to lock that with the hex screw. Now we're going to mount the solar panel. So here we have this other plate that we can then screw on the top here. And then if you need to extend this, you can loosen that. And then you can pull this out and extend it. And then tighten it so we have room for the solar panel. So now we're going to slide the solar panel. Slide the solar panel on like so. That way. So I guess it's going to look something like this. You have your solar panel on the top. You mount this onto your gutter, and then there you have the camera. This is kind of weird. Oh, I don't know what I did. If it's not lining up properly, loosen this, and then you can rotate this how you want it. You tighten this screw. Make sure this is tight. And then here we have our solar panel cord. We plug that in like so. And then we can take this, I like to thread it through first. Then you can take all the rest of this cable leave a little bit hanging. And now we can bunch that up. And I could even mount it. Once I'm up there, I'll mount it to the mount itself. But now we have our kind of all-in-one charging camera mount and everything that can easily attach to our gutter. I like that you don't have to put a hole in your siding or anything like that. So that's really cool. Now let's look at what types of gutters this would work. So here we have fascia style gutter. We have half round gutter with outward facing flange. Here we have box style gutter. And here we have small K style gutter. So I believe mine's one of these bottom ones. Oh, and then here we have flat front box style gutter. So it will mount to all those. And then once we have it in, you can adjust it to your desired position. It looks like you could also just wall mount this. Instead of placing it on the gutter bracket, you could use these screws. You could wall mount this bracket that we attached. So you'd unscrew that, detach it from this, screw this in, and you could put this on a wall anywhere. So you have the solar panel and this mounted if you didn't want to use the gutter. So it's really cool that it has that option as well. And here it's giving some tips on if it's jiggling and recording, and then why does the camera face down after being mounted. So you can play with that there. But now that we have that ready, let's go outside and get this installed on the gutter and check out the charging from the solar panel. So to get this mounted, I just need to screw those in. Here I was able to place the cable, and yeah, it looks pretty good. I could probably tighten this a little bit more so it's not wobbling right there. Oh, I just might have to use those longer screws. Once I have tightened it all the way, I now just need to position the camera correctly, as well as do some fine-tune adjustment with the bracket. So here I'm going to use the hex screw to be able to do that. And now I think it is complete, and this looks very functional. I like how simple it is, how there are no screws on the wall, and it's now going to keep my camera powered forever. I think this is really cool. I like how it's kind of all-in-one, compact, and I like how it has the option to use on a gutter, or if you want to use it on the wall, you can mount it directly on the wall as well. So all of the tools that you need for that, except for a screwdriver, is included. So I really like how this is all integrated into one, and they did a good job in keeping it really simple. And here, if I want to adjust it and make that line up a little better, you have a lot of options there. And so then this can stay up out of the way. Nobody can easily grab it, and it's going to stay powered continuously with that solar panels. So I think that's a really cool mount for the Google Nest Cam. And here we have one more. This is the Wasserstein 3-in-1 floodlight charger and mount for the Google Nest Cam battery. So here you're able to mount the Nest camera there. It's able to power it. It has a motion sensor light here for the floodlight. So it's really cool that you can add the addition of the floodlight without having to go out and buy the Google Nest floodlight camera. You have all of that right here. So over here on the side, it is a 3-in-1 floodlight charger and mount, PIR motion detection between 13 to 33 feet, IP65 waterproof durable design, and easy installation. And what's in the box: one floodlight, 2 screws, 2 small screws, crossbar, screw cap, wire nuts, EVA gasket, and the user manual. Here it has a sensor angle range, 120 degrees, and 2,400 lumens with the color temperature 3,800 to 4,300 K. And there it does need to be plugged into 100 to 240 volt AC. So we will need to wire this into an existing light box. So in here we have the biggest user manual of the day, pretty thick. Here is some additional safety information. The nameplate is located on the back of the unit. The normal operating temperature is between -4 degrees and 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Make sure this product is earthed correctly or grounded to prevent any electrical shock. Please be reminded that your house or building must be equipped with a circuit breaker as disconnect device that needs to be shut down before any new installation. That's good safety to remember. So here we have the floodlight, pretty big. And then here we have a little gasket down there. Looks like it has an adhesive to get it mounted. So there we have the 3 wire nuts, 3 screws, and 2 small screws. And here we have this tiny little white gasket. Here on the floodlight, so you can angle these lights up or down, or you can move them right or left like that. Here is the PIR sensor. Here is where we will mount the camera. And then here on the back, you have a black for the live wire. Then here you have the neutral, and you have ground. So you'll need to turn off the power and then get these wired in, and it should be color coordinated to what is already in your light switch. So yeah, there we go. And then we'll have this placed on there and go from there. And then down here we have the power cable that we're able to plug directly into the outdoor cam. So for the gasket, you need to remove the strip so that this can stick to your home and have a tight seal so no water can get inside. When you mount the crossbar, put the screw out, and then you will feed that screw through the floodlight here. Turn on the power. To charge your camera via the floodlight, please install the camera wall plate on the floodlight. Install the Nest camera wall plate on the floodlight using the 2 short screws included. Screw in tightly. And attach the magnetic plate onto and turn it counterclockwise. And then you can attach the camera and it will mount onto the original plate that it comes with, so the magnetic plate. If you want to, you can also take the anti-theft mount and mount it to here as well so the camera can't easily be removed. So this mount will continually power your Google Nest Cam. And then the floodlight will only turn on in the evening when there is no sun, and it will turn on for a few minutes. We'll find that out in a bit. So let's go ahead, get this mounted, and then put our Nest Cam on it. So the first step is to turn off the power to your light. So here I'm going to remove the existing light fixture. I'm going to use a voltage tester to double check that I have turned off the power. It's staying green, so everything looks good. Now I'm going to remove the wire nuts and remove the old light fixture. Once I've done that, the next step is to take the bracket and install it. Now don't look carefully because I did this wrong. You want to make sure that the little screw that's attached is sticking outward, and I removed mine. So just ignore that. Then once you have the bracket, you're going to remove the sticky adhesive from the back of the gasket, slide the big hole underneath the wiring. Now here we're going to wire the copper to the green or yellow for the ground. Then we're going to wire the black to the line, so it should be black for the power, and then we're going to wire the white to the white for the neutral. Now that it's wired, you're going to push the gasket over the screw that's sticking out. There should be a little hole already there for it. Then you're going to place the floodlight over the screw that is sticking out from the bracket, and it'll go right through the hole. And then you're going to take this little screw and place it through that hole in the front and screw that in. Now I'm not sure where that little white gasket goes. I'm thinking it might have needed to go in here. Not positive on that one. But once you have done that, now I have it fully installed. So I'm ready to place on the first bracket for the camera. And then I'm going to use the provided screws to be able to do this. So there are 2 small screws. We're going to place that on. Now I can attach the magnetic piece to the camera mount. And now I can place on my camera. And once I've put my camera on, I can plug it in. I can go turn back on the power and test this out. Now, at first I thought I had done something wrong because it wasn't doing anything, but it just took a minute to boot back up, and then it powered on the camera, and in the application it began to show that it was charging, as well as it was recording my video history because it was constantly powered. Now I just needed to position the floodlights where I wanted them to go, and then I really needed to wait till it was dark to do the final testing. All right, let's see how this works.
coming around the corner, and boom, there it saw me, and that is so bright. Just look at how much it is able to light up the backyard here.
And now that our 3-in-1 floodlight charger and mount has been installed, here we have the new position of our camera. So let's open this up a little bit bigger. There you can see. And if we go into the settings here and battery, for the first time today, we are now above 13%, and you can see that it is plugged in. So it's great to have that constantly plugged in, and now we have it attached to the floodlight. So let's take a look at what that floodlight does here to the outdoors. So right now we have night vision on. So this is without the floodlight on. And there you can see the floodlight turning on. Let's see how long it stays on. So it stayed on for 1 minute and turned off. Let's go ahead and turn off night vision and see what it looks like then.
So here is a clip from me doing the same thing coming from the side. It seemed like it came on a bit faster that time. And as you can see, it brightens up the whole yard in color. Instead of having the black and white night vision, the light is able to give plenty of light for the event. And then after that minute, it will turn off. Now let's see what happens when there's motion after a minute. So here I'm walking around for a total of 5 minutes, and the light never turned off. So it was able to continue to reset that 1 minute every time it detected me. And so if my kids are out here at night, they'd be able to have light no problem without me having to turn on a light or anything like that. It just kind of works. And then once I went away and there was no motion, the light turned off. So that's great to see. Let's do another range test. So it said 33 feet. So I'm on the left side of the frame here, and I moved and it detected me. You can't see me yet, but I am off frame. And so that's pretty impressive how far away that's able to go. And then the next test is once the light turns off, how fast can it turn back on if motion is detected? So here I left the frame. After a minute, the light turns off. And then when I come back into the frame, it then detects me and turns right back on. So no issues there. Next, just look at how bright these lights are. That 2,400 lumens are really doing a great job.
Now, one feature I'm actually excited about, so I ended up putting this on a light switch. So let's say at night I don't want the lights to come on. I can turn off the light switch, and then the camera is still powered because of the battery backup. So it can still function without the lights on. And then when I want to use the lights back here at night, I can turn them on. I'm very impressed by how far away I can be and that turning on. I am noticing there's a lot of light leaking into the neighbor's yard. So I'm going to see if I can adjust those real quick.
So for my adjustments, I decided to just angle them down as far as I could, and then maybe out just slightly, a little to the left and a little to the right. And that was able to brighten up the full backyard and looks really great. And no matter how much I tried to sneak around the yard to get it to not detect me, it detected me every single time.
Golly. It got me. Pretty sweet. Now, I was inside for a little bit, and I saw that the light came on, so I thought, oh, is this a false detection because it is so sensitive? But I noticed there was a deer right up next to the back of this fence in the other yard, and that triggered the sensor. So no false alarms, just deer. So that triggered that as well. I was actually like up on the ladder, and I looked over and I saw him, scared me a little bit, but pretty cool how sensitive it is. So let's say the light keeps popping on because the neighbors have deer in their yard, and every time a deer comes up, it brightens up the backyard for a minute and then turns off. The neighbors might be able to see this, and it might be pretty annoying and interrupt the feeding of the deer. So with it plugged into a light switch, I can then turn off the light at night if I don't want the light to come on, but the camera will still stay on. So I could still have night vision on. The camera will operate because it has that charge from being turned on all throughout the day. And then once I turn it off, the light switch, the lights no longer operate, but the camera will still operate, which is really cool. So then the next night, if I want the lights to come on, I can turn on the light switch it will charge up the camera, and then the lights will only come on whenever there's motion. So kind of an interesting way that works, but actually I really like having that. So instead of having to worry about the lights coming on and off, I have control of that. So my only recommendation to add to this product is having the ability to add the lights into the Google Home app. I think that would be pretty cool. Maybe I adjust the sensitivity or something like that and set different schedules for when the lights come on and off, or I have manual control of turning those on and off from my phone. That would be really neat. But overall, I'm really happy how the lights work, how bright they are, and I love how it keeps a continuous charge on the Google Nest Cam so that I have the 24/7 video history because I am a Nest Aware subscriber. So it would be nice if the arms had a little more ability to move. You could only kind of move them down and to the side a little bit and back and forth. So it'd be nice if those could move a little bit more. But overall, very impressed with this product if you're looking for a way to add constant light monitoring to a specific area of your home and power the Google Nest Cam. We did it. We were able to get through all of the Wasserstein Google Nest Cam battery accessories, and I love how many different options they have here. So just to recap, if you're looking for a great way to mount your device or add some benefits to the way it's mounted, helping with the security of the device, or adding a visor to help with the sun shining on the camera. So over here we have the premium camera wall mount, we have the anti-theft mount, or the silicone cover, which is really great. If you have multiple cameras and you're looking for a way to charge them quickly and then put them back where they belong, the charging station is great for that, charging 2 devices at once. If you want to mount your camera outdoors and have a weatherproof cable 26 feet away from the plug, they have the Pogo pin cable and adapter for that. I love how it has the clips installed there. If you have Ethernet cables around your home for power over Ethernet, I think the power over Ethernet adapter is awesome, being able to pick that up. And then you can also get the POE Injector if you only need to add one of these to your home if you don't already have a POE switch. Now, if you want to mount your camera somewhere on the outside of your house or on your rain gutters, you have the 2-in-1 gutter mount, which is great, and that pairs perfectly with the solar panels, which add the ability to keep it charged with sun, saving you energy and keeping the battery life last forever. Only thing is they don't have the 24/7 video history like other charging devices that we're showing off here, but I love how it's this all-in-one device that can keep your camera charged and keep it so you can view it at all times, and then you'll have that history of the events and everything whenever somebody walks into your yard. And lastly, we have this massive floodlight camera that keeps the camera completely charged up and keeps your 24/7 video history. And then it is able to alert anyone that comes into your yard or keep the yard lit up for you in the evening if you're out and about. So plenty of options. I will leave a link to all of these in the description below, kind of separated like I just talked about. If you do have any further questions about these, please let me know down in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.